guys, what's up? Welcome to another video. I'm gonna have my part 2 right now. It's gonna be on mechanics. If you didn't see part 1, go check it out. I'll probably put the link to it in the description so you can check that out first. I'm gonna go over mechanics. Now, I have a secret that I don't really tell a lot of people about my mechanics. I used to actually be a freestyler. I was practicing flip resets in like gold. And I do have like a flip reset ground pitch on one of my old channels, so maybe I'll give you that. If this video gets 10 likes, then I'll show you guys my older cringy clips. Well, let's get on. Okay, firstly, we have to assume that you're not just bronze. When you're coming to this video, if you've played Rocket League for at least like 5 hours, you could probably get silver, honestly. You could probably get silver if you have at least like 10 hours. So let's just assume that you're not bronze. You probably have some of your own mechanics, like hitting the ball. You have to be able to fix your own mechanics, because if you're not good at these mechanics, then you won't be able to hit them in game, and then you won't get the rank that you want. So I'd suggest start keeping replays of when you miss. You really want to have more replays where you lose than when you win, because it will allow you to get better and look at what you've done wrong. So find out what you're good at already. If you look at your replays and you're like, oh, I'm not missing my power shots, then it seems kind of awkward, but you still want to practice those and master those. But if you are completely mastered of like that mechanic, then look at like something in the replay that you maybe messed up. If you're messing up your power slides a lot, that's something that you should start practicing once everything else is mastered, but you should still like practice that a little. And generally, I would say, for this mastered mechanic that you have, like, let's say you just mastered something that's really easy, like car control. Let's say you're really good at moving your car around. Start on like a curved path almost. Start like at the very bottom, easier mechanics, the more basic ones, like power slide, power shots. And then from there, go to like dribbling, and then go to flicks. You see how this goes? And then flip resets would be at the very top, for all the people waiting for that. And then after that, I would say like air dribbles and flip resets. Like, you don't really need them until you're in maybe the high champ range, but even then, you still don't need those to get GC. All you need to get GC is mastery of the most basic mechanics, like power shots, maybe not even dribbling almost. Like power shots, aerials, car control, power slide, recoveries, all that. For learning newer mechanics, your rank will really depend on what you need to learn. And you could be ahead or behind on what you already should have learned, but it doesn't really matter. Because if you're above in mechanics, I can assume that the game sense probably isn't there yet. Which is why like my previous video is probably good for that. So when you're in bronze, the general thing is like hitting the ball correctly, and then as silver, you would still master hitting the ball correctly because you could be at that one point, but then you want to start becoming like when you're in bronze. Here's how it goes. When you're in bronze, you want to start learning power shots, power slide, basic car control. But once you're in silver, you want to become a little bit more perfect on the previous 3. Let's say when you're in bronze, you're 1 for 10 on those 3 basic mechanics, but then later on in silver, you become like 5 for 10 or 4 for 10. And in gold, we assume you've already mastered hitting the ball correctly. Keep on drilling those same 3, so maybe you're 8, 7 for 10 on those same 3. Then start learning the next level up, which would be dribbling, bounce dribbling, and aerials. And once you're in plat, you should be around 9 for 10, 8 for 10 on those previous 3. The basic car control should be pretty much mastered. And then start drilling advanced car control. Learn bounce dribbles, normal dribbles, flicks, as well as fast aerials. But here's the thing, once you start introducing new stuff, you don't need it to be mastered yet. Unless, you know, you're in those higher ranks, because then they should be mastered by then. And I'd say as you approach diamond, you should have pretty much all car control and fast aerials mastered, which is really important. The aerials and the car control is really important. Drill a lot of bounce dribbles, generally drill once mechanics. You don't really need flashy mechanics in diamond. This is like, I'd say diamond 3 is the bare minimum. That's like the bare minimum you could go to start practicing air dribbles resets. And when you're in champ, car control should be mastered, fast aerial should be mastered, I'd say basic dribbles and flicks should generally be mastered, maybe 8 for 10. Start like really advanced ones mechanics, like the kind of like the 45-degree flick, low 50 fakes, just general stuff like that. Start those, and then you don't really need flashy mechanics even still. But if you really have like good game sense, then you should start practicing these air dribbles. And also, as you're leading up to GC, I'd say in Champ 1, like from Champ 1 to Champ 3, it's actually a larger range than like Plat to Diamond, I'd say. So, like when you're in Champ 1, you can start those air dribbles, and then maybe flip resets. I don't really think flip resets would help you in Champ. But then by the time you're Champ 3, you're pretty decent on air dribbles. Maybe started flip resets. And then everything else that I previously mentioned should be almost mastered. Pretty much mastered. And of course, once you're GC, you should be at least 9 for 10 on like everything. Maybe not flip resets and air dribbles. You still need those to practice those in GC. Even though I have good mechanics, it all led up to when I was a freestyler. I had good mechanics, then I had to get the game sense in order to get GC. But yeah, have car control, once mechanics, aerials, power shots, power slide. Still drill your air dribbles, resets, even ceiling shots. You could go for like really advanced stuff like wall dashes too. Anything in GC. You might be asking, how should I actually practice these mechanics? I don't know where to start. So the very first thing that you should do when you're practicing mechanics should be to figure out how that mechanic works. You can't just be saying, oh, I know how to air dribble and then hit it one time in the air. So I'd say watch detailed videos on how to do them. I already have my own on how to dribble, flick, air dribble, flip reset, and I will be accepting more. Say in the comments if you have any mechanics that you really need to learn. I might make a video on it. And then once that's done, a tip that I give that you don't have to follow but would be really important is getting Bacchus mod. And then getting the Bacchus plugin free play checkpoint. Just look up Bacchus plugins. And then the first one that pops up should be it. And then get free play checkpoint. That's a really important key. That's one of the main ones for actually practicing your mechanics. There's tutorials on how to install it. I know Spook Luke, he knows how to install it, and there's also good tutorials on it. And then also realize that mechanics take time and practice. Don't get frustrated. If you're starting to get bad at your mechanics, then just take a break. Then also in your mechanics, as you practice, you want to start out really easy. Like for instance, if you're practicing power shots, you want to start out with basic open nets. Let's say you're gold. And then let's say as you're gold, you're doing basic open nets and mid shots. Then you get that plat promotion. Now you're doing further shots, you're doing those angle shots. And then let's say you get your promotion to diamond, now you're doing those aerials and those really tough angles. So start easy and then make it harder and harder as you go. That's how you get better. I'd also say training packs are decent. Probably not as good as free play checkpoint, but if you're on console, training packs would be really good for that. That's probably going to be it for the video. I know it's not really that long of a video, not as long as Game Sense. I'm hoping to make another video on mindset after this for part 3. Something that I struggle with a lot myself. And in part 4, I'm going to go about how you should go about everything. How to get GC, starting from the very first tip. So I guess part 4 might be more of a summary, but at the same time, it could be adding a few more things, so still check it out. And then, yeah, some of my previous videos are how-tos. I have a playlist that's on how-to, and you can learn really good stuff in there. I know it's not really the best, but there are like 60-second videos in there. They're only shorts, but I still think there's a lot of good information in there, so you can check it out. And yeah, get that promotion.